Hello everyone. This is Zira speaking on Hello everyone. This is Zira speaking on behalf of Will Duckworth, lead strategist at Narrowgate Trading, who is recording this live video first of all for the purpose of explaining the strategies and protocols he intends on using when trading with his partner overseas next week. Secondly, to explore the possibility of having background music playing during the recordings, and finally, to experiment with having a countdown leading into his live streams. The designated hours for trading are from 6 a.m. to 12 noon Indian Standard Time, which translates to 4:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. However, given that Duckworth will only be in his office up to 8:45 p.m. at the latest, this narrows the window down to 4:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Pacific, or 7:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Eastern. As you can see from this first slide of the Aussie dollar Japanese yen 5-minute chart, the top lower panel has set upper and lower levels at 1.412 and minus 1.412 respectively. These measures define minor statistical support and resistance levels. When the oscillator rises above 0.353 or falls below minus 0.353, it suggests that the intermediate trend is relatively strong and is supported by added momentum at 1.412 or minus 1.412 as appropriate. When the oscillator is located above the center of this channel, the intermediate price flow is considered bullish and is considered bearish when the oscillator is positioned below the center of this channel. The panel just under the top panel measures the strength of the longer-term trend, with the best time to enter long or short positions existing when the histogram bars rise above or fall below the 0.1452 or minus 0.1452 threshold levels respectively. The third panel down defines the intermediate support and resistance levels at 1.172 and minus 1.172, along with the major support and resistance levels at 6.306 and minus 6.306. When this oscillator crosses above 1.172 or crosses below minus 1.172, the longer-term trend is judged to be supported by a significant amount of momentum. And finally, the lower panel at the very bottom is used to monitor short-term bias or sentiment, and to suggest when the short-term trend is supported by above-average momentum. Looking at the Aussie dollar Japanese yen, note where the intermediate trend is decidedly bullish and where it is decidedly bearish. During the trading window, a relatively strong bullish longer-term trend develops. Consequently, one would be justified in coming to the conclusion that entering a long position when the short-term trend oscillator in the lowest panel crosses above the center of the channel. Though the pair is bullish, after it is rejected at the major statistical resistance level, it is justifiable to enter a short position when the short-term trend oscillator in the lowest panel crosses below the center of the channel. Looking at the Aussie dollar US dollar, an aggressive trader might opt to enter short positions as the rate is rejected at the intermediate statistical resistance level. However, you can see that if trading short-term, binary option contracts, scheduling expiry for longer than 15 minutes, or less than a couple of hours, let's say 30 minutes for example, could have easily resulted in executing losing trades. On the other hand, purchasing a 60-minute binary option put contracts when the bearish intermediate trend was showing relative strength and the bias or sentiment of the short-term trend was also bearish most probably would have led to positive outcomes. The indicators on the euro-dollar British pound would seem to recommend sitting on the sidelines with respect to this pair. With the euro-dollar Japanese yen, once again, one could make an argument for entering their short position after price is rejected at the major statistical resistance level, or to purchase 60-minute binary option call contracts while the longer-term trend is above the threshold level, and the intermediate and short-term trends are registering strong bullish momentum. Note also how all the measures leading up to the euro-dollar Japanese yen's peak were offering quite a bit of justification for purchasing a binary option call contract. Now, moving to the euro-dollar US dollar, it could be argued that this pair is not displaying very clear signals at all. As for the British pound Japanese yen, it is essentially evidencing the same trading conditions as the Aussie dollar Japanese yen and the Euro dollar Japanese yen. The British pound US dollar is also not displaying very clear signals. This is not surprising given that these hours coincide with the Tokyo trading session, which constitute the hours that Duckworth considers to be the least desirable hours to trade. The US dollar loonie is also a no-go, as is the US dollar Swiss franc. As for the US dollar Japanese yen, it too displayed essentially the same pattern as the other three yen pairs. Again, this live stream was provided to serve as a rough illustration of the settings and methodology that will be dictating trade decisions Duckworth will be making, at least at the beginning of next week. In the meantime, we'll hope everyone enjoys his or her weekend, and until next time, stay awesome. Bye for now.